Hello everyone, I'm Liza Lamanya at Math Athic. Today we're going to talk about solving quadratic equation by completing square. In the equation x squared positive kx or x squared negative kx, we will add the k over 2 squared, that is the square of the half of the coefficients of x, where we can write the standard form x squared plus kx positive. The quantity of k over 2 squared is equal to x positive quantity of k over 2 squared, where we can use the half of the coefficient of x and then we can square it like this. Then let's see the example. X squared negative 2x negative 15 is equal to 0. To isolate the constant term, which is 15, we can add both sides by positive 15. And then we cancel out, this becomes 0. The remaining is x squared negative 2x is equal to positive 15. And then by using the complete square, we can use the coefficient of x like this, and then we can multiply it by 1/2. So we have negative 2 times 1/2 squared is equal to negative 2 over 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 is equal to negative 1 squared. Negative 1 squared is equal to 1. Therefore, we can add both sides by positive 1. So we have x squared negative 2x positive 1. And we can add also positive 1 on the other side. And this equation we can factor. So we have x negative 1 squared, and then this one 15 plus 1 is 16, and then x negative 1 squared is equal to 16. We can apply the square root theorem both sides, and we can add positive negative here, don't forget, and then cancel out the square. Cancel out this one, the square and the square root. So the remaining is x negative 1, and then the square root of 16 is 4. Then to isolate the constant term here, negative 1 becomes positive 1, and then copy this positive negative 4, and then this one is either negative or positive, so we can solve. Positive 1 plus 4 is equal to positive 5, and the other side is 1 minus 4 is equal to negative 3. Therefore, x is equal to 5 and x is equal to negative 3. And this is the answer. Then let's have another example, number 2. We have x squared positive 10 x is equal to 0. So we have x squared plus 10x is equal to 0. To complete the square, we can use the half of this 10. So we have 10 times 1/2 is squared is equal to 10 over 2 squared is equal to 5 squared. Therefore, we can add both sides by 25. So we have x squared plus 10x plus 25, and then we can add also here 25. And then we complete the square. We have x positive 5 squared, and 25. And then we can apply the square root theorem. So we have x positive 5 squared, 25. We can use the square root theorem, so we cancel out here, and then we can use positive negative here. X plus 5 is equal to positive negative 5, which is the square root of 25 is 5. So to isolate the constant term, which is positive 5, so we can have negative 5, positive 5, which either x is equal to 0 and negative 5 is equal to negative 10. Therefore, our solution is x is equal to negative 10 or x is equal to 0. And then let's have another example, number 3, which is x squared positive 6x positive 1 is equal to 0. So to isolate the constant term, which is 1, we can transfer in the other side. So we have x squared positive 6x is equal to negative 1. And then we have the half of coefficients of x. So 6 is the coefficients of x. So we divide by 2 and we squared. And then we have 9. So we can add both sides by positive 9. And then we add also, which is positive 9. And then we complete the square. So we have x plus 3 squared is equal to negative 1, positive 9 is equal to positive 8. And then we apply the square root theorem. So we have x positive 3 quantity squared is equal to 8. So we have square root here, positive negative, remember in the standard form above. So cancel out the square. So x plus 3 is equal to, we have square root of 8, and then we factor the square root of 8 here. So we have x positive 3 is equal to positive negative square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 2. Because square root of 4 times square root of 2 is square root of 8. So isolate the constant term, which is 3. To transfer it, it becomes negative 3. And then the square root of 4 is 2. So we have negative 3 positive negative 2 square root of 2. Therefore, our x is negative 3 positive 2. If it is positive, then we have square root of 2 here. So we have square root of 2 also here. Therefore, our x is equal to negative 3 positive 2 square root of 2, or x is equal to negative 3 negative 2 square root of 2, and this is the answer. So let's have another example, number 4. We have x squared negative 6x is equal to 0. And then we have to add the square of the half of the coefficient of x to both sides. So our coefficients of x here is negative 6. So we have to multiply 1/2. So we have negative 6 over 2 is equal to negative 3 squared. So we have negative 3 squared is equal to positive 9. So we have to complete the square here. So x squared negative 6x, we add both sides by 9. So we have 9 here. Then we complete the square. So x negative 3 squared is the factor of x squared negative 6x plus 9. And then we can use the square root theorem here, cancel out, and then x negative 3 is equal to positive negative. The square root of 9 is 3, so we can have 3 here. And then we isolate the constant term, which is negative 3. It becomes positive 3, positive negative 3. Therefore, x is 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. And 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, the value of x is equal to 6, or x is equal to 0. This is the answer. And then let's have another example, number 5. We have 3x squared negative 8x positive 1 is equal to 0. We isolate the constant term, which is positive 1. It becomes to negative 1. So we have 3x squared negative 8x is equal to negative 1. To isolate this one, we can add both sides by negative 1. So we have negative 1 here. And then we divide each side by 3 so that we can take away the coefficients of x squared. So we have x squared negative 8 over 3x is equal to negative 1 over 3. And then we can add the square of the half of the coefficients of x, which is negative 8 over 3. So we have negative 8 over 3 times 1/2 squared here. So we have negative 4, negative 8 over 6, or negative 4. This is negative 4 over 3 squared. And then negative 4 squared is equal to 16, and 3 squared is 9. Therefore, we can add both sides by, here we can add negative 4 over 3 squared. This one is negative, so negative 4 over 3 squared is equal to negative 1/3 plus the square root of negative 4 over 3 is 16 over 9. So we can add here negative 16 over 9. And then to complete the square, we have x negative 4 over 3 squared is equal to, we can have fractions here, so we can use the less common denominator. We have 9, so 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and then 9 divided by 9 is 1 times 16 is 16. So we have to copy x negative 4 over 3 squared is equal to negative 3 plus 16 is equal to positive 13 over 9, and then we apply the square root theorem. So we have cancel out the squared and the square root. The remaining is x negative 4 over 3, and then positive negative square root of 13 over the square root of 9 is 3. And then we isolate the constant term, which is negative 4 over 3. We can add both sides by positive 3. Therefore, x is equal to 4 over 3 positive negative square root of 13 over 3. Therefore, our answer is equal to 4 positive negative square root of 13 over 3. And this is the answer.